Hey guys, how you doing? And welcome to another video. Here's the thing. Evil killer robots, the moon, and our adorable co-protagonist in an evil AI system. There's a game that I finished earlier today that has all of those. That game is Pragmata. And specifically, I played the Switch 2 version, though you can play it. I think it's available on just about everything else: PC, PlayStation 5, maybe Xbox. I'm not sure about Xbox, but probably Xbox as well. It was really good, and I don't know. I just feel like I just want to get some thoughts on it out. Not necessarily. This is not necessarily a review. It's just more so getting these thoughts out of my brain and giving them to you. With that said, I think the strongest the strongest point of Pragmata actually comes from the story, not necessarily the overall narrative, but the relationship between Hugh and Diana, which are the duo main protagonists, and the people we'll see basically 99.9% of the game. Basically, throughout the story, the two are trying to escape from a space station on the moon that they've been kind of trapped on after an attack by evil robots. And along the way, Hugh finds Diana, or Diana finds Hugh, and it just becomes a journey to get back or get to Earth. Diana is actually a robot instead of a human. She's a robot that looks like a little girl, and it's interesting because she doesn't know anything really about Earth, or doesn't really know that much about humans, or which is probably a good thing. She doesn't know how humans can be. So Hugh basically kind of teaches her and shows her things and tells her about things on Earth over the course of the game. For instance, he tells her about the hottest place he's been, or the coldest place he's been, or the beach and sand, feeling sand on your feet, and this some of just the simpler things, I guess, in life. And it really sparks like a curiosity in Diana, who's like, "That sounds cool. I want to do that too. I want to get water on my feet." So she's eventually becomes more and more interested in just getting to Earth to see all these exciting things that Hugh is talking about. Whereas Hugh is more so just like, I don't want to die, and I just want to go back home, because these big head robots and spider robots and scorpion robots, they want to kill me. I bet I can show you Earth too. I mean, that's cool. And over the course of the game, they really do actually grow close to each other as they help each other, and he becomes kind of like a overprotective father figure to her, which is funny because there's points I'm pretty sure where Hugh outright says that he doesn't like children. But I guess he's like, technically this is not a child. So, man. And Diana's not just like an average robot. She can basically hack into anything, including enemies, and that's kind of where the gameplay comes in. Like the combat comes in, where Hugh will find different weapons and guns and stuff like that to shoot at the enemies. But at the same time, Diana will kind of ride on his back, similar to um, Donkey Kong and Pauline, the way they're set up, where Pauline is on Donkey Kong's back, like shouting things or making commentary and this and that throughout the game. The difference being here that he was not a big dumb monkey. So when Diana talks, like he actually responds in Hugh actually responds in ways that you can actually understand them rather than ooh or ooh ooh, stuff like that. Whenever you aim at an enemy, a little like a little mini grid will pop up, which sort of kind of acts as a puzzle, which sort of kind of makes this game not just like an action shooter. It makes it like an action puzzle shooter, which I'm not sure I've played too many, if any, at all of that type of game before this. But on the little panel that pops up, you'll have different nodes on there that if you hit them in a certain way, you might get like a buff, you might debuff enemy, you might deal extra damage, and so there's usually like an optimum way to do it. It's really hard though, especially when you have like a bunch of enemies all trying to kill you at the same time, and you have to think really fast. And if you actually, most of the time, if you say are in the middle of a puzzle and you get hit, then you'll have to like restart the puzzle, and the layout may change. So you may kind of lose some of the possible advantages that you had in the first place by not getting hit. But it gets kind of hard. There's been times where I've basically been juggled like I was in Tekken. Yeah, I got air juggled because there's just so many enemies attacking at a time. But I will say that as I played more and more, like my hands kind of got quicker, and I guess you could say I started thinking faster on my feet. So it's something that it takes a little bit to get used to, but once you get used to the combat, it's actually like really rewarding. Not just fun, but actually pretty like rewarding and satisfying to see all the chaos that you cause to your enemies, your robot enemies. Especially since like there at certain points you can hack. If you have the right node, you can hack more than one enemy at a time. You can make them fight each other. You just kind of sit back and you can like stun them, or you can have a whole group of them fighting each other, kind of like how monsters and Monster Hunter monsters will fight each other sometimes. It's sort of the same idea. It's some of just robots with like missiles and electric fists and stuff like that. But it's generally a little touching and heartwarming to see Diana react to simple things like a swing or a TV and trying to grasp the concept of it and the purpose of it and why humans feel a certain way about certain things as the story goes on, and kind of figure out her feelings and kind of figuring out like her worth, and at the same time Hugh kind of doing the same thing, as he's kind of never really had this kind of interaction before. There's even moments where when you're back at your shelter, because the game in the game you kind of have a base camp between areas, kind of like a hub. So, and it's kind of like connected zones. And in the hub area, where you can upgrade your weapons, upgrade your characters, change your costume, all that good stuff. As you collect more stuff to show Diana, like eventually she'll start, say, drawing pictures for you and stuff like that. And he won't necessarily know how to respond every time. And he clearly doesn't have children of his own, and you can kind of tell. But he's kind of trying to be like the best pseudo temporary in the situation, a guide, dad, advice giver person he can be. I would put Diana in the same league of adorable little character as, say, live action Tony Chopper from One Piece, or Anya from Spy Family. Both like all really enduring, but powerful characters too. Because Diana is actually she's actually pretty OP by the end of the game. The only really thing that was kind of annoying was the platforming wasn't the best, and I kind of feel like in games like this, it's not just this game. It's just incorporating platforming in a genre outside of the platformer genre itself. 9 times out of 10, it usually doesn't go flawlessly. Like, I'm not sure what on Hugh's shoes, but that boy was sliding like he had butter on his shoes. Like, sometimes I would jump and I'm like, okay, just land firmly, Hugh. And he'd be like, nah, I feel like sliding into these lasers or off this platform or into enemy fire. And it's so, and thankfully you don't have to do a lot of platforming per se. At least a lot of mandatory platforming. Like usually the most platforming involves, say, getting to like a secret area, or finding like a collectible. But for the most part, you're pretty planted on the ground and running forward. But he he slid around a lot. He slid around more than I anticipated him to do. And I don't think it's the Switch 2 thing. I just think it's just the way the game controls, probably across all platforms. But it doesn't take away. It doesn't take away enough from like the narrative and the combat and the unique combat with the puzzles in combination with gunfire and gunplay and the kind of atmospheric music, kind of haunting music a little bit. It's all pretty good. I just need my boy Hugh to get some new moon shoes or some with grip. That's all. Give my boy some grip. Yeah. There's also a lot of collectibles and a lot of extra stuff to do in the game, like this challenge rooms and stuff like that. And actually, I probably would have recorded this. I wanted to record this um early, a little bit earlier over the weekend, but me being a completionist, I wanted usually when I play a game, I 100% it before I roll credits. But this the last challenge stage that you can do in this game was so hard that I'm just like, if I wait to finish this challenge before making this video, I might never make this video. It gets that last one is the last challenge is that ridiculous. So if you like difficult games, this can get pretty difficult. Not not unfair. Well, maybe that stage is unfair, but the rest of the game is not unfair. Is hard, but not unfair. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Thank you for watching. Have a good one, and leave comments below if you want. Like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Thank you.